If you want to hear how a little girl's instincts saved her life, then you should keep listening. Welcome to my channel. I am Fronten'a, and today I am going to read you my audio blog titled How a Little Girl's Instincts Saved Her Life. This is part 2 in a 3-part series. For the written version of this blog, visit me at my website. The link will be listed below. Now, I wasn't going to say nothing, but since y'all brought it up, go ahead and make sure you subscribe. Go on now. I'll wait. Whoo, child, I thought I was gonna have to tell y'all twice. Oh, and real quick, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me bring awareness to more people. Okay? Now, let's get into this audio blog. The danger I was warned about was not my neighbor. He was not my mom and her boyfriend's good friend. He was not someone that my mom and her boyfriend would have card night and game night with, and so on. So that's why I never felt threatened when I should have the most. I had no reason to fear Bud. I knew him. I saw him all the time. He would even come into our house sometimes to have drinks with my mother's then boyfriend. So when he asked me to come into his garage apartment to, show me something, I did not hesitate. I had just come in from bike riding with my cousin and was just about to put my bike away in the garage that was just next to his. This was a 1-car garage that was only big enough for a single car to be parked in or to be used as storage. But in Bud's garage, he had it set up in a way that made it look more like a bedroom than it did a garage. As I walked through the security gate, which honestly offered no security at all because it didn't lock. But I rounded the corner and made my way to my garage, which my mother did actually use for storage. And that's when I noticed Bud's door was open. Again, this was nothing out of the norm. He often had his door open, I guess to let some light in or maybe some fresh air, because there, were no windows. It was also where our washer and dryer was, and consequently where I stored my bike. His door and our door were no more than maybe 2 feet apart at best, so he could clearly hear me walking in there, and more than likely noticed me when I walked past, pushing my bike along. I can remember walking into a garage and putting down the kickstand on my bike. I had to be home early this particular day because my mom was on her way out heading to Bible study. So I parked my bike and started towards the garage door. But no sooner than I made my way to that door and closed it behind me, Bud appeared. This was not unusual, nor concerning, because again, it was Bud, my neighbor, and my mother's boyfriend's good friend. I was also close friends with his nephew, who was just about the same age as me. Anyhow, he called out to me as I was walking towards the stairs that led to our 2nd-story apartment. Suddenly I heard, "Hey, LaShawn, come here. I want to show you something." I didn't know why he was asking me to come in, but I never considered that it would be for some sinister reason. So I walked in, and as I walked into his garage, he leads me to the couch, following very, very close behind me. Because again, there was something he wanted to show me or whatever. Still, not suspecting anything was wrong, I proceeded on heading to the couch. He then sat down and went into this sort of half laying, half sitting position on that couch. That couch, by the way, that was presently pulled out into a bed. He then placed his hand on the arm of the couch and said, "Come closer and sit down right here." Now, by this time, I was starting to feel a bit apprehensive, but I reluctantly sat, or sort of leaned on the arm of the couch. And just as I was hovering and about to sit, he made this hand gesture to me as to tell me to come closer to him. And so I reluctantly scooched over. Suddenly, this foreign feeling overcame me. I felt sick to my stomach, and then cold, even though it was a hot day and this garage was extremely warm. I didn't know what I was feeling. Was my body warning me that I was in trouble? But instinctively, I knew I needed to get out of there immediately. The thing is, I kind of felt a little silly because the door was just a few feet away, but yet I still felt trapped. Suddenly, I was aware of all of my senses. I could smell this musty kind of man smell that I hadn't noticed before. And even though it was dark, I suddenly was able to see alcohol bottles just laying all around, just strewn all about the place. While I was sitting on the arm of the couch, the couch bed, he took his arm and wrapped it around my lower back, leading into my waist. I don't think my skin has ever felt more sensitive to the touch than it did right there. I was hyper aware of my skin, and it felt like I had bugs crawling all over me. And then, just as suddenly as I felt cold, I now felt warm, very warm, and this, weird warming sensation that was making it where it was hard to breathe. And that feeling overtook me. It was kind of like I was suffocating. Well, by now, he could tell I was starting to feel uncomfortable. So he began to rub my lower back in this up and down motion while simultaneously saying, "Hey, just relax. You're okay." But I knew I was not at all okay. I didn't know it at the time, but all of these overwhelming sensations were my God-given internal warning bells. My body was giving me every clue that I was in danger. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, I heard this voice in my ear telling me to get out of there. To get out of there right now. Well, that concludes part 2. If you want to hear what happens next, please make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I post part 3. Also, please consider joining my village. I think you'll like it here. Until next time.